Hello and welcome to In the Art Scene podcast, a place where creatives share their stories. My name is Galina Marquez, and I have another cool story prepared for you today, so let's get to it. Hello and welcome back to In the Art Scene podcast. I'm Galina Marquez, and today it's just me quickly wrapping up season 3 and giving you a little bit more information of what is going on the podcast. So what is actually going on in the podcast? At the time you're listening to this, I am either screaming in a delivery room or I am already cuddling my first baby boy. Either way, wish me luck, guys. It's my first baby. I'm very excited. But don't you worry, season 4 is coming soon because I have been working on it before I had my baby. So stay tuned for that. I also thought I would take this opportunity and introduce myself properly because I've never done this on a podcast. I'm usually focusing on my guests because they are awesome. So since it's the short wrap-up episode, I thought I will take about 10 minutes of your time and tell you who I am, where I'm from, and why I'm doing this show, and a little bit of a background about Galina Marquez. So I was born and raised in Moscow, Russia, in a creative family. My father was an incredible poet. My mom is a great jewelry designer, but they never chose creativity as their vocation. That said, in my family, creativity was celebrated and encouraged, but not as a proper career path. So I went to study fashion design because I felt like that would be a great compromise of a sensible career that involves a lot of creativity because I was a creative kid. And after 2 years of college, I decided to switch my major from the actual fashion design to making patterns for clothing industry. Long story short, I hated it as a job. And after 2 or 3 years, I had an opportunity to switch to a position in the marketing department in the same company I was working for at the time. And that was a great switch. Although I've never had any background in marketing, I was doing very well. And I ended up spending 15 years climbing corporate ladder as a marketing executive. I was really lucky to work for some great international companies in different industries, always having a feast of creativity and challenges of figuring out how the new industry works and how I can perform my job better and meeting new people. But with the creative side of marketing, there comes some downside that is lots of paperwork, lots of analytical work, which I don't mind, but sometimes my brain is just hurting when I do a lot of it. And the worst thing about that is every company has really nasty politics going on behind the curtains, and being in charge of marketing department, you can't really avoid that. So long story short, after I moved to San Diego, California in 2015 and got my job here building a marketing department from the ground up for the local company, I had a nervous breakdown. And in 2019, I quit. And I decided that I need something that makes me happy. And I finally, at the age of 35, decided that I'm going to give my creativity a shot and will try to be a full-time artist for at least a little bit, because, I can always get back to marketing if I have to get back to quote-unquote proper vocation. I did have quite a bit of guilt of removing myself from a corporate world because that has caused some cut in our family budget. So I was trying to figure out if I can do some part-time gigs or consulting or something like that. But then COVID started and no one was hiring anymore. And I felt honestly, I felt lucky because that gave me an opportunity to just focus on whatever I was doing. And I converted a corner in the garage into the art studio. I created some body of work. I tried to show at the local co-op gallery. So 2020 was quite a productive year for me. But by the end of it, I started feeling isolated, like many of us, because I was really new to the art world. I barely made any connections. I felt like I don't know anything, anyone, and no one is taking me seriously. And I thought, what can I do about this? And how can I invite more um, art friends to my life? So, what I did, I started a blog and I started interviewing artists about their stories. And that was fun for a couple of months, but that was a lot of work of writing down, putting together blog posts and stuff like that. It's a lot of work, guys. Um, so I thought it is just much easier and much more fun to have a live conversation with artists and put it as an audio file out there somewhere. So this is how a blog got transformed into a podcast, and it's called In the Art Scene. And if you listen to the wrap up of the previous season, I told you a little bit about how the whole idea actually was planted in my brain about 6 years ago when I met that homeless artist in San Diego. Um, so yeah, finally it was looking like something real, and I am to this day doing this for 1.5 years. I am super humble and incredibly grateful for everyone I had an opportunity to talk to, uh, all the friends that I have created along the way, all the amazing connections, and all the inspiring stories I have heard. This is really a highlight of my everyday. And I want to thank all of you for listening and supporting the podcast for 3 seasons now. It's been an incredible journey, and I really, really appreciate every single one of you. That said, I would like to ask you guys to help me a little bit going forward by suggesting some topics. I will still invite artists and interview them and talk about their stories, and we'll try to bring some valuable information about art business and other aspects of the art scene. But I really want to hear about what you want to know. And if you have any questions, if you have any suggestions, or if you know about anyone you would like to refer as a guest, I am always open. Just DM me on Instagram or send me a quick message through the website intheartscene.com, and we will get that rolling. I also wanted to ask you if you guys have any questions to any of the guests from the past 3 seasons. Because I know that a lot of you feel connected to the stories and feel like, it might relate something to what you were or are going through. So if you have any questions to any specific artist or in general, just also send me a DM on Instagram or a message through the website. Tell me which artist you want to ask and write your question, and I will figure out some kind of a special episode where I have multiple artists answering your questions, or we will do some live Q&A. I don't know yet, but we will figure it out. I really want to hear from you what you want to know. And another thing I wanted to ask you is if you feel compelled, if you like this show, and obviously if you're listening and following, I really appreciate your support, but I would appreciate even more if you would help me producing this show, which I am financing myself currently. I don't do it as a business for a living. I'm hustling through a lot of different things right now to supplement that. But the production of the show is almost a full-time job, and it costs some money to produce. So if you are feeling like supporting me, well, the first thing you can do is to leave us a great review. Better if you do it on Apple Podcasts, because it seems like Apple is more influential in this industry, so it will help us grow. And if you want, you can always buy us a coffee. There's a button on the website. It says buy us a coffee. Or you can buy some merch. There's a shop on the website that you can explore. The merch is actually really great quality. I bought a few samples for myself. I love my studio apron and a hoodie. And I believe there's also a support button on Anchor. If you ever go on anchor.fm to listen to our show, I think there's a button for supporting us as well. So that is highly appreciated. It is totally voluntarily, but it will greatly help me to continue producing it, and it will actually show me that you want me to continue producing this show, because I'm having a time of my life, and I really want to make sure that I am doing the same for everyone who's listening and everyone who's involved. So on that note, again, thank you so much for sticking around for 3 seasons and being with me and following my journey. And I look forward to seeing you soon again in the art scene. Bye, guys. It has been another episode of In the Art Scene podcast. If you liked today's conversation, please give us a good review on Apple. And go listen to other great stories. Check out our website intheartscene.com or follow us on Instagram at intheartscene for more content. If you are a creative and you want to share your story, shoot us a message from the website or DM us on Instagram. Look forward to seeing you next time in the art scene.